it's Sydney Afari, and we're here in Union Square. I'm talking to people about trying to break stigmas on Planned Parenthood. Let's see what we find out. What do you know about Planned Parenthood?
I don't know too much, to be frank with you, but I know it's a government-sponsored sort of program that allows sort of medical care for pretty much anybody, I think. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, so I just have one question. Do you know what Planned Parenthood is?
I mean, I've heard the term. I don't know what it is exactly, though.
Okay. What do you know about it? Like, what did you hear about Planned Parenthood, if anything?
I don't know. I've never, like, how would I put it? It almost didn't pop up as anything important to me, like that important. They never really pushed that in my face. So I never really went out. And I'm not a parent, so I would,
By maximizing, respectively, equal opportunity and population control.
Which brings me to
Your subject.
yes.
That's
So
it.
I'm wondering.
I'm all for Planned Parenthood,
Okay.
of course.
Yeah, I was
We gotta
gonna ask
go way
you.
Beyond that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. Do you know what Planned Parenthood is?
Of course.
Have you ever used any of their services?
I wish I could have. I married an ignorant peasant woman, fundamentally religious, who tricked me into having a second child. And that does wonders for a marriage. That was like the last straw.
Okay.
It destroyed our marriage. And
when you say that, how does that run in
think-
correlation with Planned Parenthood?
I think it's immoral to have children at all in this world of ours because there's 10 times too many of us. And anytime anyone forces another person into this world where there's 10 times too many of us, he or she is crazy.
Have you ever heard of Planned Parenthood?
Yeah, and I'm not even from here.
Nice. What do you know about Planned Parenthood?
It's an institution that helps with women's rights and health care for women.
I guess they help with abortion and other different diseases that don't necessarily have to be related to women either. I think that's what I've read a little bit about.
Cool. So what services do you guys think are available at Planned Parenthood then?
I think pretty like a checkup, physicals, blood pressure, stuff like that, HIV testing, stuff like that, basically.
Probably like they help you like if you're ready for a child. I feel like they're the ones to go. Like they'll give you plan flips. Like advice on how to be prepared, like where you should go to be prepared for like this pregnancy. Yeah, like counseling. Or like if you don't want the child, they probably counsel you on how to go about it. Like, cause like some people, I've seen it. Like I don't know if it happens in real life as movie would portray it, where like someone do get rid of the baby and then they're like deep in depression and it's like the world is over. So I don't know. I feel like they're able to help you go through that process. Like even helping you like make sure this is the option that you're willing to go through with. And then pretty much like the aftermath, like counseling, like it's just like it's like a good hospital for women.
What is your stance on women's reproductive rights?
I mean, it's like, who am I to tell another person, like, you should be doing this A, B, C, and D for your body or whatever it is. I don't have a right to do that. So, but I think for the most part, I think there's a lot of opinions that people say about like, A, B, C, and D. I just think that for women's health, women's rights, for health care, I mean, that should be status quo. I think everyone should have health care.
What's your stance on like women's reproductive rights, if any?
Women's reproductive rights? I'm surprised that you should even have rights for that. Isn't that like a natural thing? Like, why is there even a battle there?
What is your position on women's reproductive rights, like today, right now?
Like today, right now, they exist because women exist, and women should have rights. I am heavily advocating for, or I'm trying to heavily advocate for states' rights as we speak, specifically within New York State. I don't know if you're familiar with the Reproductive Health Act, which is currently in...
Yes, I am.
Hello. I am currently in email communications with other women who are trying to push forward the RHA. There are very specific Republican state senators who are advocating, who are just sticklers on it, and they don't want this bill to pass, and those are in places very far away from New York City as we speak. So now the question for the people that I know and I'm working with are groups like local grassroots groups like Rally and Rise is, do we go up there and try to help and advocate so that people understand what's really going on? I don't know, because codifying Roe v. Wade in our own legislation is just so important, especially at a time right now where the Republicans just took the first step to repealing healthcare, the Healthcare Act with the AHCA. So I am trying. I am doing as little as
You're doing a lot. You're really doing something to help us out.
There's knowing, and then there's actually going out and doing there. So I'm doing as much as I can, or at least I think I can, which I still don't think is enough. So knowledge is power, and I think some people just don't realize how much they could be doing on a state level.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. We have now defined you as not a slacktivist, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Of course.
So then what's your stance on women's reproductive rights now that you've mentioned your ex-wife?
Maximizing population control means changing our whole attitude about population control. Instead of thinking of it as every couple's, or worse yet, every woman's right to have a child whenever she wants to, we've got to think of procreation as a duty and an honor and privilege that a socially representative hierarchy of family planning committees bestows upon select applicants.
Okay, cool. What is your position on women's reproductive rights? I don't know if you have been watching the news and stuff like that, but just in terms of the government telling us what we can do with our body.
It's your body. You should be able to do whatever the heck you want with it. It should be not like an old white person telling you what, especially a male. I mean, seriously? Yeah, not being able to experience that like myself. Like you can't tell people to do that. That's absolutely something that you can't even fathom, let alone experience. So it's up to that person who has control of their body to decide what they want to do with it.
Nice. How about you?
Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. I didn't know that.
Fuck you.
Not you.
Amen.
Not you.
Not
yeah,
you,
not
exactly.
You.
But
Not you.
it's more like, who are you? Who are you to tell me what to do with my goddamn body?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I should have all the rights. I was born with it. You're not the one living in it.
Come on.
So clearly, it's more like, again, fuck you.
That's a really great answer.
That's
I like that.
the greatest answer.
A majority of Americans believe abortion should remain safe and legal. Many just don't use the words pro-choice. They don't necessarily identify as pro-life either. Truth is, they just don't want to be labeled. What they want is for a woman to have access to safe and legal abortion if and when she needs it. But when it comes to abortion, who decides? Her congressman? Her governor? Her president? Women don't turn to politicians for advice about mammograms, prenatal care, or cancer treatments, and they shouldn't. Politicians don't belong in a woman's personal medical decisions about her pregnancy. When it comes down to it, we just don't know a woman's specific situation. We're not in her shoes. Ultimately, decisions about whether to choose adoption, end a pregnancy, or raise a child must be left to a woman, her family, and her faith, with the counsel of her doctor or healthcare provider.
You just mentioned that it's a good hospital for women, but the thing about Planned Parenthood is for men too, and that's a common stigma. Like, men don't go there, and it's for testing, like you said, and things like HIV. Like, men can get HIV too.
This is why men are important now.
Yeah. Like STDs, STIs, they do all
Because a lot of men, in this age, they don't know about getting checked out or tested, and it's pretty scary because they don't know, places like that is available. I think it's more pride and being ashamed. Then if they know that was available, I think they'll be fighting for the same rights too. I think, yeah.
Do you feel that some people have like a weird stigma that it's only for one specific purpose? I don't know if you've ever run into that. Do you suggest that it's more than just an abortion clinic?
It's a great question, and as someone who actively advocates women's reproductive health rights myself, I totally get that stigma all the time from people. I think it's younger generations don't have that issue, in part because many women, at least in the areas that I was fortunate enough to grow up with, have either used them or have had friends that use them for any kind of service outside of just abortion. And even when we talk about it, there is this kind of implication there that you're potentially, there's totally stigma, and it's a shame. It's so easy for me to just rant on about how, it could be something and it couldn't be something, but at the end of the day, it helps a lot of people with a lot of different things.
Okay, so that's a wrap on our day in Union Square Park. We got a bunch of different perspectives on what people think Planned Parenthood really is all about, but most importantly, we spread awareness on what they really do have to offer. For those of you watching, if you want to learn more about the organization, just look at the links that are going to follow this video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.